Ground podcast. I am excited. I am still riding high after a Star Wars celebration, although there are a little tad bit of the post con blues. But that's why I'm happy to do this episode so we can kind of ease our way back into normalcy. As always, have awesome people here, and well, we're gonna chat about it right here on the high ground. Hello, my beautiful people. What is up? How's everyone feeling today?
Better.
Sad to no
Because of,
longer be in California.
Haley, is it because of Obi-Wan? Because that's
Because of
why I'm because of Obi-Wan.
Man, I'm I have like these like bitter moments of like, man, it was wonderful there, and then like next year's in London, and if we go to London, is it just gonna be cold and rainy? Like it's not. Is it gonna be the same? I don't know.
Honestly, if you think about it, Jago, as long as we got each other,
Yes.
it'll all be.
It'll always
no
be.
matter no matter rain, shine, snow. As long as we're together, it'll be a good time.
Yes, and speaking of being together, we have the full panel together now with the addition of Tyrell. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's going on?
What's
Hello.
going on?
Thank you for joining and so we all have post celebration blues. So we're gonna lift each other's spirits by just reminiscing about the good old days last Thursday.
2 days ago.
But yeah, let's go around the room. Have everyone introduce yourselves. Who are you? Where can we find your awesome content? And let's see here. I didn't even think of a good icebreaker. Just your favorite moment. Like if you could just take a snapshot of a moment from the past week and share that.
Oh wow.
That's
What do you
tough.
got? Hopefully that's not too hard. To give everyone a quick moment, I will share mine.
Okay.
I have a quick snapshot of um Jedi Master DePaul jumping on a couch as we were singing karaoke. And in that moment, it was like, this is perfection, right? It was greatness. Yeah, how about you, Curly Coffee Works?
I'm Haley. I'm Carly at Coffee Works. Oh my goodness. I think my snapshot moment. Let's do Saturday morning, woke up super late to Emily in full cosplay. And I'm just like, oh no, what day is it? Like, how late am I? It was like, I can't pick a true moment because it was also incredible.
Awesome. I love it. And Luke?
Hi guys, my name is Luke. I'm one half of the Pod Once podcast. And my moment, it's also hard for me because we went to Disney on Wednesday. It was my first ever time. Well, not first ever time, but I hadn't been to Disney in 22 years. That was fun. But I'm going to have to say snagging a wristband to go to the world premiere of Obi-Wan Kenobi and how much that meant to me, and seeing at least the first episode, because I had to go see to finish our trivia tournament with Chaco and Element. But seeing that, and Haley can attest, I was an emotional wreck. She was my Obi-Wan buddy for the night, and I think that one takes the cake just because of what the show means to me, and I'd have to say that.
Awesome. Love it. And Swacer?
Hi, everybody. My name's Casey, or Swacer on TikTok. And for me, my favorite moment has to be like a split tie between, similar to Luke, the premiere of Obi-Wan Kenobi, just getting to experience those first 2 episodes in the presence of the cast. And then the Mando Plus panel where that footage was shown and just the whole arena just erupted in applause. Like, those 2 moments were just absolutely surreal.
Awesome. Love it. Hayden?
So I think I should really choose like a moment from each day because if you know me, I'm really indecisive and I can't like choose a solid thing. So I think Thursday would have to be the Studio Showcase panel with Haley and M at Stardust M on TikTok and at _ Stardust M on Twitter. I feel like sharing that moment with them and just seeing this huge room of people after, of course, being away for 3 years, I think it is almost, and just having like a room full of such energy. And then they told us that we would be able to see the first 2 episodes of Kenobi together. I don't think I'll ever forget like the way my mouth dropped open at that. And then Friday, I think the highlight of that would definitely be getting to see the High Republic meetup and seeing Charles' soul with my own 2 eyes. I was with Liv at Olivia Amidala, and she was dressed as Kira. I was dressed as Han Solo from Solo. And when I saw him from across the plaza, she had a coffee in her hand, and I started shaking her arms as if the coffee was going anywhere or anywhere and everywhere. And luckily, it didn't get on her. It didn't get on her jacket, or maybe it did. It was just like the same color. And Saturday, I feel like definitely would have to be either the Marvel Comics panel, which if you don't know me or my content, I'm like really, really into the comics. Like 3 out of my 4 cosplays were comic characters. So seeing the panel and getting to meet most of the authors afterwards, that was absolutely surreal. But also we went to IHOP afterwards and we spent like 2 hours there just like talking with each other about our weekends and our lives. And I feel like that's like a really nice microcosm of what this weekend was meant to be, is just normal people coming together and talking about Star Wars. Sorry, I'm seeing Liv's comments right now. That's funny. And then for Sunday, I think we were all waiting in line for Ashley Eckstein when she was going back and forth between like ops and the panels, and just like sitting with everyone and like feeling that togetherness again that we hadn't had in so long, and seeing like all of my internet friends that I've never met before. Like I've never really been to a con before. This is the first time I've really met up with my internet friends. Just like getting to sit and share like this one single moment with them was really special. Sorry, that was really long, but I like I said, I'm indecisive.
No, it's all good. We appreciate you. And last but certainly not least, we got Terrell coming from across the pond.
Yeah, I mean, hey guys, I'm Terrell, Theories by T on TikTok. Usually speak about all things geeky, predominantly Marvel, but of course Star Wars too. Whatever's trending, whatever's topical, I'm there talking about it, loving it, celebrating it. Most magical moment of the weekend. I mean, in general, like it's wild that I was even there, like to have gone all, like thousands of miles across the pond over to get there. But I'd say 2 specific moments that like jump out to me. One in general, like hanging out with all of like Star Wars talk. Like guys, I've been friends with for pretty much the entire time I've been on TikTok, like Choco, Mason, everyone else. And seeing them at the Key Show Star Wars after party on the Saturday was great, because like the majority of that day was either just like a bunch of us just talking about Star Wars, or a bunch of us talking about like our mutual experiences on TikTok and like getting to know everyone in general. It was just that was great. That was like a super like heartwarming, like wholesome family moment, like the Star Wars family just coming together. And then as far as like wholesomeness goes as well, I'd say like I can't get the image of the opening and closing ceremonies of Star Wars Celebration out of my head, because I think like walking into the celebration stage and like seeing like hundreds of thousands of people all just like rode up with their sabers lit up in the dark and stuff, I was awestruck. Like everyone knows how big and like powerful the Star Wars fandom is, but I think online, the Star Wars fandom also is quite notorious for like for lack of a better word, the dark side of fandoms. So you think, oh, it's good, but it's also like 50-50. There's a lot of bad, and it's like, there's this, we love Star Wars, but also being vocally a part of the fandom is quite intimidating. Like a lot of my content is predominantly in the Marvel space, not because I don't love Star Wars, but because I feel a little bit, strangely enough, a little bit safer. And that is ironic all on its own. But being in that space during the opening and closing ceremony, seeing how like passionate and excited everybody was about Star Wars was incredible. Every single actor and director and producer that came on stage was met with like massive applause. People, including me, were crying like through the whole thing. and I don't know what they put in those like compilation videos that they do of like previous Star Wars celebrations and of this one. But wow, that is like watching like 10 back-to-back viewings of The Notebook all at once, because I was just like puddles of tears. Especially, it did not help because I was next to Mace Windu, who was also like just like hysterically crying, so it just set me off, and I was like, oh well, now we're just too grown.
Was it different for you having had just interviewed like a lot of the people?
Yeah, very. I don't know why. I mean, you know, my interviews with them were like what, I think 8 to 10 minutes each. But in my mind, I was like, that was like one of the most special moments of my entire life, like being able to speak to Ewan and Hayden, especially, as well as Moses and Deborah. But like seeing them come on stage and being met with the same amount of like welcome and support from everyone was like, I felt like they were my family, and I was like, oh, I'm so proud of my brothers and sisters being welcomed back into Star Wars. But it was weird, like, you know, having spoken to Hayden in particular, who was like very straight up with how much he loved Star Wars and how much he was excited to get back into bringing Anakin back to life, bringing Vader back to life, and wanting to continue doing Anakin throughout, and how much it meant to him. I mean, again, we all know how important Star Wars is to all of us, but to hear how important Star Wars is to the people that actually are a part of it was something else. And like, again, seeing them on stage is just one thing, but seeing how they were received on stage, just like, my heart has never felt so warm.
Awesome. Whew. I love it. Just all the feels.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, so all right. So I want to take a second to first talk about the journey just before, you know, celebration. What did it take to get there? Were you guys like worried? Was there fear? You know, like what was it? What was that part like? I mean, for me, I live close enough to where it was just like a regular day at work, and then I just had to drive in an hour. But and anyone, feel free to jump out. Yeah, what was it like getting there? What was that ordeal like?
So for me, oh no, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Don't make me pull your arm.
So I go to school in San Diego, and I was lucky enough to kind of figure out that there was a train that goes directly into Anaheim. So what I did was I woke up at 4:45 a.m. on Thursday morning. I kind of really like got ready. I had packed for like the past 3 days. I'm a chronic overpacker, and I had like these lists for each of my cosplays. I have like these little square things filled to the brim with like the accessories and like whatever I needed. So I like triple checked that I have everything, because I'm also very forgetful. So I had to go through, and I had like physically had the paper in my hand, pointed out each thing to make sure I wasn't missing it. Thankfully, we didn't forget anything. But yeah, I was on the train at 6 a.m. hurtling towards Anaheim. Got in at around 8. Took an Uber to my hotel room. My room wasn't ready yet, so I had to check my bags. I took about 45 minutes to get ready in the hotel bathroom. I feel so bad for the maintenance lady that was in there, because she had to watch me splay my suitcase out on the floor and pick out my cosplay items from that. And I still have my school backpack with me, so I had like 3 separate bags in this tiny little bathroom stall trying to get changed into my Dr. Aphra cosplay, which we'll talk about later. But after that, 45 minutes, got ready. I was staying like 20 minutes away, so then I made that walk over there. I was wearing my new cosplay boots, which were not broken in yet, but thankfully I had like 3 separate layers of insoles, which if you're looking at cosplaying for boots, definitely get insoles. Those definitely help a lot. And then I got to the convention center, and I was meeting up with Emily and Haley and Kels. They were all in line waiting to get into the exhibition hall. And I remember walking down into like the main little queue area that they had, and it was just wall to wall of people waiting to get into the exhibition hall. And I was like, I've never seen anything like this before. Again, this was my first con, but like this was special. So I waited with them for like maybe 30, 45 more minutes. And then we went in and then we freaking booked it to the Galaxy stage for our studio showcase seats. And then from there, it was one of the best weekends of my life, probably, if not the best.
Yeah. I know there's always a
it-
lot of like anxiety, especially if you're like coming in to meet all these people for the first time and you don't know what it's going to be like. You don't know, people are going to be, are they going to be the same people that you met
Yeah.
online and all this stuff? Like you never really know. Um, how about you, Luke? What was your like the trip? Because you were coming from across the country.
So the night before, I was in BC and I was like packing and I was like just making sure I had everything because this was like the first time I had flown by myself. So that was a lot of nerves and stuff like that. So I was just making sure like I had everything. I didn't want to like lose anything. I didn't sleep. I only got 2 hours of sleep and I left my house, which is 20 minutes from the airport. I got there 3.5 hours early to make sure that I wasn't late
Jeez.
because I'm that much. My anxiety was through the roof. But once I got on the plane, got into the airport, got the Uber to the hotel. We couldn't check in till 4, so me, Grandmaster Bell, and Aiden talk Star Wars topics. Which, by the way, if Aiden talk Star Wars topics doesn't make any content, we are going to riot. We are going to break down the walls of his own home, and we're going to make him do content because that guy is hilarious. Let me just tell you that right now. We got Grandmaster Bell his first ever meal in America was ironically Denny's, and he didn't get.
That is the American experience, though.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
disappointing.
Yeah. So he didn't order anything like breakfast wise. He got a burger, and it was like 8:15 in the morning, and I'm like, all right. I get it. You're British. Like that makes sense. Like you don't know what you're doing. Like I get that. But it's just
I feel like
the
that was
whole
aimed at
experience.
T.
Yeah,
No.
no.
As a British person, I know the places to go in the morning. I know IHOP
See-
breakfast is thing, and then Popeyes is like.
Exactly. Maybe it might have been our fault, me and Aiden's fault for not taking him to the right place. That might be. But like after that, it was all just a blur. Like it was just a whole bunch of just emotions and like I this is why I'm going to London. Like it's just to feel that atmospheric and to be around all of you and just to know that there are people just like me who have a passion for the same thing I do is just exhilarating.
Absolutely. And then real quick on the previous question of like special moments, St. Pat got to talk about his OC clone trooper with D. Bradley Baker, which is super cool. E.K. Johnson asked to meet Alanis, not the other way around.
Wow.
Yep.
For Brooke, closing ceremony just had her ugly crying. It happened.
Can we just talk about how Brooke forgot her badge?
And then for Pep, everyone was magical. Yeah, don't forget you always check to make sure you have your con badge. Otherwise, you might leave it across the country.
I was checking like every 30 minutes to make sure it was in my pocket where I had left it 30 minutes before.
It's also important that you don't forget your vaccination card. Otherwise, you might have to send mass messages to your ex, like Cal did, convince them to get inside of your apartment, take a picture, and now owes them a sushi dinner.
Cal,
Yeah.
that didn't happen, right? like that's a lie.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it happens. How about you, Casey?
Yeah, so I was similar. I flew all the way, from the Northeast across the country. It was the first time I'd ever been to California. I flew out with my brother. And I'm not good with planes, so I get nervous on planes. But so a 5-hour trip across to California was definitely something. So I had that anxiety just for the plane, and then showing up, it was just a little bit overwhelming seeing like the sheer amount of people at that convention center. Like it was so awesome, but a little bit overwhelming. And then eventually you get into it because they're all just like all of us, like so passionate about this galaxy far, far away. But yeah, I luckily didn't have any major roadblocks on my way headed over to California. And it was, no turbulence. That's good because I don't like turbulence. But it was really good. The way back, though, actually, the pilot on our plane asked everybody how many of you are headed back from Celebration, and about 3/4 of our plane raised their hand. We're all in our shirts. And he bent down and he rolled up his sleeve to reveal a mythosaur tattoo. And he said, "Well, you've got a Mandalorian flying your plane tonight." And that was just the coolest experience I've ever had. Like, he was just the coolest pilot.
That's badass.
Yeah.
I like that. How about you, T?
Well, I mean, as flights go, I think I've got everyone beat with the 11-hour flight across the planet Earth, which was not my favorite thing. I'd come to the US actually like 3 weeks before the con as well, because I went to Disney World, I went to Florida. Slightly, ever so slightly smaller flight, like shorter flight, but still longer than I'd like it to be. I don't like traveling long distance, mainly because I'm very like fidgety person. So I'm like being sat on just an enclosed space for that long is like a pain. But I try not to complain too much because I think I was one of the very lucky few to be invited by Disney. So they, as far as travel go, it was all them. Like, they covered it. They put me on the plane, they put me in the cabs and stuff, and they put me in my hotel. So as much as I can complain, I was like, it didn't cost me anything, so I can't cry too much. So that could have been worse. But I mean, in general, like coming to the US, like I love being here. Just in like once I've arrived, and especially like coming to the places like Celebration, like Comic-Con and stuff, seeing kind of like you guys were saying, seeing the sheer amount of people just all like lined up and ready, even from the airport. Like, again, like people were on my plane, also coming from the UK to the con. There were like families and stuff coming from all across like the entire all of England and Scotland, all flying over. So seeing everyone before you even get there already hyped, already cosplayed up and ready to just go straight in, was just like, unreal. So I mean, a long distance, yes, but once I was there, I was like, this is the best thing ever.
and as like a major introvert myself, just like, and not having to see other people for 2 years, you're just like, oh, there's a lot of people here. Like, Haley?
No, seriously, I spend all of my time that I am not at work just in my room, watching YouTube, watching TikTok. So this was like my first trip not going to visit my family since 2020. And oh my goodness, it was so incredible. I luckily I live on the West Coast, so it was a short plane ride. Definitely did all the outfit planning checklist like Hayden did, because so many pieces to cosplays. And so I have a new cosplay for Celebration. I did Holdo. And as I was in my Uber on the way to the airport, my bracelets arrived. So my roommate overnighted the bracelets to me, to my hotel, which was amazing because I'm obsessed with those bracelets, and it would not have been good with cardboard bracelets like the cosplay sent me. So it was so great going there, and then getting to room with Emily was awesome. She's amazing. And yeah, it was awesome to have that be like my first trip post. I mean, we're still in COVID, obviously, but post lockdown.
Yeah, a lot of people got COVID there.
Yeah, not fun.
I was fortunate enough, as fortunes go, to get COVID a month before. So I was full up,
I thought it was going to be game over for me, because in this entire time, I'm fortunate in the less ironic sense to have not have COVID yet whatsoever. So I was like, if there was any point for me to get it, it's going to be where I where I go to a convention with hundreds of thousands of people around me, as well as an international flight. I was like, yeah, this is it. This is my destiny. I'm gonna take it. Just to take a couple weeks off work. It's fine. Fortunately, I'm still negative. I'm gonna keep on testing over the next couple of days though, because everyone's messaging me being like, "Hey, I know we hugged that one time, so your gays are numbered." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
No, yeah.
But so far so good.
Please get
Yeah.
tested in general, but especially if you went to convention.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, a few of you guys cosplayed. Haley, your holder was awesome. I'm sad I didn't get to see it in person. I saw the pictures,
That
but
was great.
I gotta ask, what was your guys' favorite cosplay? Because people were out in force. There was some amazing stuff there, and we'll just do a real quick hit for everyone. Best cosplay you guys saw. I'll go to Swacer first.
Yeah, my favorite cosplays were the deep cuts. I saw a guy dressed up as that behind the scenes image of Liam Neeson on the Phantom Menace where he's holding the umbrella and the drink. Yeah, so that guy was my favorite. Like that was really cool.
Awesome. Hayden?
I actually I was waiting outside for the fountains to meet my friends, and I found like a deep cut. Like, I'm not sure if you guys have read the Screaming Citadel arc in the Dr. Aphra comics, the crossover. There was a queen. There was a someone cosplaying the queen that eats the force.
Oh,
Spoilers.
yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw
We took a
her.
picture together.
That's been out for a couple of years. That's a
Okay, yeah. So yeah, the queen that eats the force and tries to eat Luke's force. We took a picture together. It was incredible. Her cosplay was awesome. There was also the giant Grievous that was walking around, which I've been seeing so many TikToks about it. That was actually the same day. We were still waiting for my friends, and we see like this hulking mass like walking through the crowds by the food trucks, and then we get closer, and then Kels at Sansa Skywalker's, she goes, "That's Grievous," and it's like this practical giant freaking massive Grievous that this person had on all day, which I don't know if they're watching this, if they're out there. Props to you, man. I was dying in a cotton cosplay jumpsuit the entire day. So props to you.
My favorite is the picture of them sitting in a chair with Grievous's like arms folded. God, awesome. T?
I can think of so many, but because I think she's still here, I have to shout out Brooks, B Dazzler's vigilante /
Vigilante armor.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great. That was like at first I was like, oh cool, she's like is she Boba Fett? She's like a Mandalorian. Then I realized the color pattern, saw the gun, and I was like, of course she's Vig. That makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's. As Alana says, to be honest, all of Bedazzler's cosplays, specifically the Cal Kestis, looks so good.
So good.
It was really good. It was awesome.
Yeah. How about you, Haley?
Okay. So many were so great. I think my favorite though were all the Geode cosplayers. I love that so much. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Around with a giant rock, like.
I tried to get selfies with all the geodes I could find, and there's just pictures of me and
Geode
rocks.
watch.
Yes, Geode.
Awesome. And Luke?
I got a couple. The Grievous definitely was a highlight. But I will say Brooks Cal.
So good.
Because and the funny part about it is that me and Chris had dressed up as Obi-Wan and Anakin that day. But it wasn't Revenge. I wasn't Revenge of the Sith. I was Kenobi Obi-Wan. And then Chris was Clone Wars Anakin, and we reenacted the scene from Brotherhood, like as if we were seeing her for the first time in a long time. And I'm like, "You're so tall," and then Chris did another scene. He actually showed the picture to Mike Chen, and he absolutely loved it. So that was awesome. And then also her Vigilorian. It just goes to show you how great and how talented she is as a person. And I mean, she had an article written about her.
Yeah.
Like Like, come on, like you can't get any better than that. You know what I mean?
Comicbook.com.
Yeah, go check it out. It's a really good article.
Yeah, I gotta say my favorite though one had to be Sunfac. That's what Pep is also saying here. Sunfac, the Geonosian. I even had to go grab
Yes,
this.
Wow.
yes.
Like look at the shoes.
And the detail, yeah, the detail is just incredible. Who ended up winning the costume? Was it him or was it Grievous?
Her. She got best in show.
That's awesome. That's
there
incredible.
But there was a few because there's like several categories. I ran into Jen Markham, who also competed in it as well.
She
So
was
nice.
Bo, right? Bo Katan.
Yeah, she was Bo Katan. Everything made personally. There was a lot. There was a chariot that looked amazing. There was a Plo Koon, which that's just my dude. So I could not be objective.
You saw that his lightsaber is going to be added to the legacy lightsabers in Galaxy's Edge. You know that, right?
I did.
Yeah, that's dope. I really liked it.
There was a full Bad Batch group. Yeah, there was these little kids as Wrecker and I can't remember which member of the Bad Batch the other one was, but it was an adorable little cosplay. It was awesome. I don't know. It's so good.
Before we move on,
name.
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I can't remember the woman's name. She was at the after party. I think you guys are mutual with her. She came with her daughter, and they were Lop and Ocho.
Miss Marauder.
And like she like knitted the ears as like a little hat. I bumped into them. This is the most adorable child I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh,
She was so cute. And so I was like having a cosplay photo. She ran up. She was like, I am going to be in your photo. And I was like, thank you, because I need photo documentation. You are so cute.
Oh man, it was so funny because even when Chaka was doing the before celebration, we were back in the green room, and she would just talk our ears off. So seeing her in real life and her being as silly and goofy as she is, it was so precious. It was awesome.
I loved it.
And then before we move on, I do have to shout out one of my other favorite cosplays was Liv's War of the Bounty Hunters Kira cosplay. If you've been following those comics, it was freaking amazing because I did see a couple War of the Bounty Hunters Kiras, but no one had the cape, and she did the cape and she did it flawlessly. Charles Soule actually came up to her. We were sitting in line for the Marvel Comics panel. Charles Soule, they had talked the day before, and Liv had told him that she was doing War of the Bounty Hunters Kira the next day, and he said, tag me on Twitter and I'll come and find you before the before the panel. So we were all sitting in line for the panel because we couldn't get Lightspeed reservations. So it was like a group of 10 of us sitting in line for the panel. Freaking Charles Soule and Ethan Sachs, the writer of Bounty Hunters, come up the escalator and beeline for our group. And Charles Soule goes, can I take a picture? And I think, I'm not sure if he posted it already, but Liv is in Charles Soule's phone. And then she also, she made these pins that say Kira for Emperor. I have mine on my backpack because it's freaking iconic. And she did give one to Charles Soule, and I was able to get one of my friends, Kels, to give one to Ashley Eckstein. So shout out to Liv. I love you, bestie.
There you go.
Yeah, I love her. Also, there was a Magna Tolvin I saw the first day.
I saw that one
really
too.
good.
That was really good.
You gotta appreciate the deep cuts. I saw lots of pink shorts boom mic operators.
I saw so many of them.
One of them was a Twi'lek. Yeah, people they were getting styling on that.
And the Hooters Twi'leks earlier. I was like, what the hell are we doing here?
How did this we're smarter than this. All right. So favorite panel / news / most anticipated announcement. we'll run through it real fast. We'll go to I'll go to Luke first.
Tales of the Jedi, hands down. Tales of the Jedi. The animation, the stories of Dooku, a young Qui-Gon, a Liam Neeson Qui-Gon. So we know he's full of shit when he said, "Oh, I only do films." Yeah, okay, buddy. All right.
They haven't reached out to me.
All right, buddy. I'll be seeing you
Sure.
in episode 5 or 6 of Kenobi, so I will be calling you out on your bullshit. Don't worry about that. But like it and the fact that his son is also doing the younger voice of of Qui-Gon as well it's a lot. Qui-Gon's my third favorite Jedi. So that was so nice to hear. And then we got the trailer and we see Anakin and Ahsoka in this vulnerable state where Anakin goes, "I need to train you so that you can protect yourself." And as she's like getting stunned, he says, again. And with everything that we have seen in the last 3 days, just the Anakin content, Vader content, that was probably the best panel that I had seen all week, if I had to be honest.
Plus the episode, lots of feels in that episode.
Oh goodness, yeah, absolutely.
How about you, T?
Ahsoka. I mean, the whole Mando Plus panel was like phenomenal. Just based on the idea that they advertised it as just a talk with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, and then you see like 12 other seats next to them. You're like, okay, so I know one of these is Pedro, but like, who else is gonna come out? Entire cast of live action Mando series, phenomenal. But then like the setup between showing the trailer and then they bring out Rosario Dawson, Chopper, and Sabine, Natasha, all back to back. My mind was blown. Like seeing Rosario in general, because they set up on Thursday, they made her send a whole little video message in saying how she's sad that she couldn't make it. Sorry guys, I can't make it. I'm filming. Bye. And then she just rocks up on Saturday saying, "Yeah, I don't work Saturday, so I drove out." Like what? Okay. And Chopper rolling out. I don't know. The Rebels like soul in me. The boy that just loves Star Wars Rebels is like one of his favorite Star Wars pieces of media. Seeing Chopper roll out, I think I screamed the loudest in my entire row. Like fully like opening his little arms and making all the sounds and like reacting to Rosario. That was glorious, beautiful.
Yes.
And then just seeing the teaser, seeing Hera. I'm like 99% sure we also saw like the side of Zeb as well. So seeing the whole Rebels crew on the Ghost, my mind was just like, it was gone. And the fact that they made that little teaser with like 3 weeks worth of footage is insane to me. Like the dedication Dave Filoni has to entertain the fans is on another level that I cannot fathom. But yeah, everything about Ahsoka, I love Ahsoka as a character. I love the entire Rebels crew. I'm dying to see Ezra. I want a Kanan cameo somehow, just even as a Force Ghost. I don't know. Yeah, I love Rebels and I'm so excited for its resurgence in Ahsoka.
I'm gonna follow you because that was definitely my favorite panel, and that was the day that I was running super late, and I was like, I will make it there if it kills. Like I will be there. That both like Mando means so much to me. That show is so fantastic. It's truly means so much to me. As I said 3 times, I've been really looking forward to Ahsoka, and not expecting to get any Ahsoka crumbs, and then getting to see visuals of Ahsoka in that panel, I was an emotional wreck. Like oh my goodness, I had to collect my thoughts after getting out. I was like, I can't believe we just saw that. And Rebels is like, Mando's very special. Rebels is my favorite Star Wars TV show. And so knowing that we're getting so many Rebels characters in Ahsoka, like we had all assumed we'd get a little bit of Rebels, but knowing that we're actually going to, over the moon, so emotional and like an absolute highlight.
Yeah. Also, Anna Grogu was right at the end, and that blew my mind. I couldn't. when Jon Favreau said, "Sit down, little guy," and he sat down, my was puddles of tears.
I think I cried for an hour and a half straight. Like honestly, I told the guy sitting next to me, like, I'm sorry if I'm crying. And then literally as they switched the screen, gone, done.
Hold on, Haley. Were you as bad as I was Thursday night?
So you were, I was worse. Dude, I was so much worse.
Is that even possible? I didn't think that was possible, to be honest.
Yeah. I was so glad I got to experience Luke seeing Obi-Wan too. That was incredible.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I could have even watched the show. I would have just been looking at Luke the whole time.
Well, the funny part about that is that I got in and when I hung out with the Demolantas, so it was me, Haley, the Demolantas, and we were all sitting together. And I was like, guys, I'm warning you now. I'm going to be an emotional wreck during this whole entire thing. And sure enough, we didn't. So the funny part about the premiere is that we didn't get the recap.
Yeah, we didn't get the recap.
It just went straight into the cold Lucasfilm open. And so after I left to record, and then once we got done with that, we went to Harrod's Hotel, and I watched them watch the first episode. And honestly, that was one of my favorite moments as well, to watch them freak out as much as I did. And then when the second episode came out, we'll just leave it at that.
It was special.
Also,
same thing. No,
go ahead. Shout out to Paul. Thank you so much for the donation. Unofficial channel sponsor. Always appreciate you. And some other people were saying it in chat. I know that DePaul has a record of it now because I saw his camera rolling. When I saw Gunji, I almost did a backflip. Like I started to take off like a rocket, like a cartoon character. And I was like, was that me? Who did that? Like, I don't know. Like something I got the spirit.
That was
the
great.
Spirit of Gucci possessed your body.
Just see Chaco do a backflip.
Yeah, so that was amazing. But yeah, what were you gonna say, Hayden?
Yeah, so me and Haley kind of did the same thing, where I think Haley was with Luke when they watched Kenobi, but I was with Kels again when we were watching Kenobi in the Galaxy stage. Oh my god, I don't know if they're in here, but Kels. Oh my god. So we finish, and we were already planning on like going to someone's hotel room and watching the episodes together anyway. And then we got to the panel, and they gave us the wristbands, and we got to go to the world premiere. So Emily actually gave Kels her bracelet. I can't remember why, but Kels was just so grateful and so happy, and I was really happy that I got to experience that moment with them. So afterwards, after the premiere, which they also gave us a poster, which I can pull out if I really want to, but it's sandwiched in between 3 other posters that I have stuck in like the little sleeve thing. So I will not do that. However, we were like sitting outside, and we were trying to like coordinate. And then Haley said that we could go back to her and Emily's hotel room. So we walked like maybe 20, 30 minutes back to their hotel room. And we were talking for like maybe 10, 15 minutes. And then we kind of sat down and watched Kenobi. And they had 2 beds in their hotel room. There was like the people that had already watched it and the people that had not watched it. So it was me, Kels, and Haley on one bed. And then Emily, Liv, and Ari at ari.in.space, I always got to plug, on the other bed. And I think my favorite moment was like, you could see them going back and forth with each reveal. And my favorite moment was when Alderaan showed up and they all went, Bill! That was my favorite moment of the entire kind of like experience of watching that together again. That was really, really great.
I love it. And Casey.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It really is just tough to pick which moment and which project I'm most just excited for. just getting to see, like most of you had talked about, the crew of the Ghost, like when Hera and Sabine showed up on screen, and then everyone like gasped, and then it was like an uproar of applause, like that was just really amazing. And then similar to everybody else talking about Gunji, like I almost threw my voice out just screaming at Gunji when he was, showed up, and Commander Cody as well in that trailer for the Bad Batch.
Yes.
Just those two characters making a return, that like my mind was spinning so fast in that moment. Like it's so cool, because a lot of people have been asking, like, for the longest time, what did Commander Cody do after the events of Order 66? Did Gunji survive Order 66? And you can tell that they're probably listening to everybody, because now we're getting that, and it's just really insane. And just those moments were just so hype, and I can only imagine the hype that will be generated once those projects are finally out.
Awesome. I love it. All right, so this is going to be a weird one to explain, but who did you meet, and what was it like? And I know we've been largely reminiscing about that already, but
wow,
that's a beautiful picture.
So do you want me to just go first then?
Absolutely, go for it.
So a little backstory. So when they first came out and said that Ewan was going to be there, I was like, okay, I got to do it. I had already committed to doing the Kenobi cosplay, growing out the hair, getting it blended, and doing all the whole 9 yards. I bought the tickets that day. Alanis, not a Kyber, who is probably the biggest Obi-Wan fan I know, wasn't able to get it. And I was talking to Harith Productions in VC when I was thinking about this, and I was on FaceTime with her, and he was like, why don't you just go together? And I was like, it's not a bad idea. So I was like, just come with me, because she was a little emotional. Sorry, Alanis, for telling the story, but it is wholesome. And she was like, no, I don't want to ruin your moment with Ewan. And I was like, no, like, you love this character as much as I do. Just shut up and take it. Like, just come with me and we'll have fun, And so we get there. They put us in a special line because it is Ewan McGregor. And we sat there we were in line for a solid 2.5 hours. But the moment you walk in and you see him, there's a lot of emotion there. So we walk up to him, we say hi. He nicest guy that you could ever meet. Very wholesome. Obviously, we can tell from certain situations that we'll probably talk about later. And it was just a blur, just that small of a second, and it meant more to us than maybe he even realized. And I mean, yeah, Alanis did almost die, but I didn't want to take up everybody's time. But yeah, that meeting Ewan was surreal. And hopefully next year I get to do it with Hayden, because then I will be the one that combusts and probably ceases to exist.
Love it. Yeah. How about you, Haley?
I did not get any for autographs, so I was running into authors like just in the hallway, which was absolutely incredible, because I don't know, these people are writing these stories that I absolutely adore. So that was really special to me. I have one photo with E.K. Johnston. It's not like we exchanged any special words or anything, but said thank you profusely. And really the people that I met that I find so special were all of you. Like it was incredible just to meet everyone. And I just, it was incredible.
Yeah. And yeah, and it doesn't have to be someone famous. If there's just anyone that was just really special for you to meet. I was actually a little bummed because I had the podcast panel at the same time as the celebration as the High Republic panel. And so I didn't get to, I was going to be able to meet, Daniel Jose Older, because we've been, exchanging stuff for quite a while. So I was a little bummed. And then the next morning we're talking, and he comes over to us and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And so that was just really cool. He's just a super cool guy. I really appreciate that. Also, I happen to, a friend of mine is an artist who had a thing there, and so I picked up one of his pictures, which has Padme in every outfit she's in throughout all of Star Wars. And so we're waiting for another panel, and we look, and E.K. Johnson just happens to be standing right next to me. So I pull out the picture, and I'm like, "You wanna?" And I find a pen. Always find a pen first before you ask them.
Yes.
Asked her to sign it, and so she did. So now I have the author of the Padme books signed this beautiful Padme poster, and just waiting to arrange a time. I was able to show it to Camilla, Boricua Wookiee, who couldn't make it, sadly, for awesome reasons. But filming a TV show pilot is it's a pretty good reason to not be there. But yeah, so she'll be getting that. It meant a lot to get it, though, so that was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, who wants to go next?
I definitely can, because if Liv is in here, so she knows. But as I said before, I'm a really big comics person. I binged them all last summer, and I've been keeping up with them ever since. War of the Bounty Hunters, great event, great place to start. So I think the first author I met was actually Ethan Sachs. I've told this story like 4 different times, so if you've heard it before, I'm sorry. But in short, Ethan Sachs and I are just like besties. So it was Thursday. I actually met him a couple times. On Thursday, I was getting coffee because, again, I was up since like 4:45 in the morning. I was exhausted. And then I get a DM from him asking, "Where are you?" And then he sends me a picture with Alyssa Wong, which, if you don't know, Alyssa Wong is the author of the Dr. Aphra comics, and they weren't supposed to be there until Friday. So he sent me a picture of them, and I was like, holy crap, he's with Alyssa Wong right now. So yes, Liv, Ethan Sachs, our bestie. So I said, I'm just getting coffee at this coffee place. And he said, come to this room, knock on the door, we'll come out and we'll sign all your stuff. So we go to this like really sketchy room on the 2nd floor by the Galaxy stage, and we knock on the door, and freaking Ethan Sachs and Alyssa Wong come out together. And I was actually dressed as Aphra, which was lucky. I had actually interacted with Alyssa Wong a couple days before and been like, I'm so sad that I can't meet you dressed as Aphra. I know you're only going Friday, but I'm dressing as Aphra on Thursday. And they said, oh, it's okay. Just send me pictures, whatever. So I got to meet her as Aphra. Excuse me. So I brought like 12 comics for Ethan Sachs to sign because I am like a huge fan of bounty hunters. I'm Valance, my everything. And I pulled out my comics, and he signed every single one of them. And then I pointed out Bounty Hunter 17, which I'm not sure if you guys are ever going to read it or whatever, but that's when, well, I'm going to spoil it because if you've read Darth Vader 23, you'll know that he's there. Yes, hashtag Valance Nation, which I'll get to later. Bounty Hunter 17 is actually the issue where Valance gets captured by Darth Vader. And we've been like joking about it the past couple days. So I point at the issue and he goes, and I go, this issue ruined my life. And he's like, oh, you want to see my notes on the issue? So he pulled out his laptop. Oh, it gets so much better. So he pulls out his laptop and he pulls out his like original scripts. And he's showing me his notes on Bounty Hunter 17. And then he finished showing me his notes. And I was like, oh, I also just read the Bounty Hunters 23 preview that came out, which if you're not familiar, Dengar is actually like kind of a main reoccurring character in the run, and I freaking love Dengar. I have his little playing card in my phone case, and that's actually Ethan Sachs' signature right there because I made him sign it. But that's another part of the story. So I said, yeah, I really love Dengar, and I really love how you brought back his Clone Wars armor. You know, like the illustrated armor from that one issue, episode of Bounty Hunters.
Yep.
Yeah, the arc with Ventress. And he said, oh, do you want to read Bounty Hunters 23? So he's like, do you want to read it? And I said, of course. So he freaking pulls out he's still on his laptop, and he's searching it up. And he pulls up the PDFs that he sent to Marvel for the final printing. He hands me his laptop and goes, here, go ahead and read it. So we're sitting with Alyssa Wong, Ethan Sachs, my friend Kay, and Emily. Well, I'm trying to read. I actually have it right here. I just got back from the comic store a couple hours ago. I'm sitting here reading this comic a week before it comes out on the author's computer. So that was pretty surreal just to start off. So Friday rolls around, and me and Liv are kind of trying to find him. We're walking around the exhibition hall trying to find him. It's like it was like a sitcom where, you know, someone like walks one way and they walk like the opposite direction and just miss each other. It was like 45 minutes of that. So we finally meet up with him, and we're talking. Liv gets him to sign her comics. She's a big Zuckuss person, so she brought one of the Zuckuss comics, and she actually sewed a pocket into her jacket so that she could put her Zuckuss Black series in it, and she called it her Zuckuss pocket. So Ethan had her kind of take a he was like down on his knees like that, and he had her kind of like put his arm out so that he was punching him, and then he posted that on his Twitter, and that's honestly one of my favorite pictures of this weekend. And then Saturday, as I said, was the Marvel Comics panel. So again, as I said, we're kind of like sitting in this clump in the standby line waiting to, he torments us on Twitter about Zuckuss and Valance. He's our enemy. But anyways, moving on. We're all sitting in this clump waiting to get in the standby line for the Marvel Comics panel. And like I said, Charles Soule and Ethan Sachs come up the escalator and beeline to our little section of the standby line. So Charles asks Liv for a picture, and then Ethan asks me for a picture of my Valance cosplay because I was Valance on Saturday because it was like the comics day, quote unquote. So I'm dressed up as Valance. He takes a picture on his phone. He uploads it to Twitter. And we go in, we sit in the panel. It's maybe like 45 minutes in the panel. And C.B. Cebulski, the editor-in-chief of Marvel, is like asking the authors the questions. So after the second question, they're kind of like going down the row of the panel. And then it gets to Ethan Sachs, and he goes, before I start, I just want to give a shout out to Valance Nation, which is kind of like our little like group on Twitter. So, and if you search me up on Twitter, I literally have #Valance Nation in my name now. It's like never leaving. And then he said they're just like a group of people who are really passionate about Valance. And then he goes, there's actually someone dressed as Valance right now in the audience. She has the contact in and everything. She can't see, so appreciate her dedication. And that was pretty surreal for me. And then afterwards, we were kind of like waiting outside to see if the authors would come out, and then we see like this clump of people around the exit doors for the panel, and we swoop over there, and I finally get to Charles Soule, and I get him to sign 12 separate issues of it was like War of the Bounty Hunters.
So you're saying you're a menace.
I'm a menace.
Yeah.
A menace. So it was like War of the Bounty Hunters, Crimson Reign. I had him sign Rise of Kylo Ren, a couple Star Wars 2020, and what else?
Any Vaders?
I had him sign 2017 Vader 1, and then I'm also a huge Poe comics fan, so I had him sign number 1 and number 31, the first and last issues of that. And his poor assistant, he had to rebag and bag all the comics. And then once he left, I actually gave him a Sharpie because he didn't have one, and I had 2 extra. So I was like, here, just take my Sharpie. I mean, you're gonna need it. And yeah, I had a silly little knapsack that was like full of comics. There was probably at one point like 20 comics in there, plus the ones I had bought at the convention. So that was a lot. And then after Charles left, it was me, Ethan, and one of the newly announced authors, Jody Hauser, who's writing the new Yoda series coming out in October. And we were just kind of talking, and we were just talking about cosplay and comics. And then Ethan goes, "Oh, do you want to take a selfie?" So me, Ethan, Alyssa, and Jody all took a selfie on Ethan's phone. And afterwards, I was just like, I can't thank you enough. This weekend has been so special. And these moments have been just incredible, and I'll never forget them for the rest of my life. I did start crying in front of them, which was kind of embarrassing, but I think is a really nice addition to the weekend. And then they said, "Oh yeah, we have a meeting, and then we're gonna go finish our scripts." So we said goodbye, and we left. And then I went to join Liv in the celebration line. So I think that was definitely the highlight of my weekend, is meeting all of the authors of my of probably like my little crux in the Star Wars fandom. That was incredible. And I know I've been talking too long, so I'll stop.
That's amazing though, to see how much and how varied all of our experiences are with, you know, that's the things that we love, but it's all the same fandom. And because, you know, I love a different part of it, it doesn't make me better or different or anything. The fact that we can share that is amazing. Who else wants to share with what they meant? I forgot where I was.
I was fortunate enough to be able to do a photo op with Anthony Daniels and E. McDermott. So that was a pretty special moment, just getting to see them so close up front in person, and then to just have that photo just to solidify that memory of just getting to. I mean, these two individuals have been in all 3 of the trilogies, also providing their voice to some of the animated projects and even some of the video games. So, I mean, they've just been around for so long, just part of like this legacy. So to get the opportunity to just have that very brief moment with the 2 of them was really cool. And I got to meet a couple other people as well. I got to fist bump Sam Witwer and Matthew Wood at the premiere of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I approached them at the end and talked to them very briefly. So those were some pretty special moments.
That's awesome. I love it. Is anyone else left? T, did you go?
I didn't get to meet. I didn't get to go up close and personal with anyone at Celebration. Obviously, I had my interview with the Obi-Wan cast like a couple weeks before, so I think I held that special enough that I was like, this is okay. I'm gonna keep that one close to the chest.
That's fair. You don't need pictures. You got screenshots.
I got screenshots. A video as long as MTV aren't dicks, that just live on YouTube forever. And I have all the footage to prove it. But yeah, that was super special. And then obviously, like I said, seeing them again in person, like being so well received after I've had like intimate chats with all of them was like a different level. That being said, I also did see Sam Witwer. I didn't speak to him, but he was staying at the Marriott like across the way, and I had to get my accreditation from there. So like, as I was getting my accreditation, he was standing there with like a massive box of like t-shirts and stuff, and I didn't know what he was doing with it. It looked like I thought he was just like a staff member at the hotel, and everyone was like, why is he just standing there? No one to this day, I don't think anyone like actually knew what he was doing. He was kind of just like hovering around with this giant box. But he seems like he's a busy guy, which is funny. I want to give like a special shout out actually to Mesa Windu again, because I mean, I met like a bunch of like, my Star Wars mutuals and stuff, but he, like, when I say he's like the nicest and coolest guy probably like I've met ever. He's the funniest guy, and we like, I mean, I bumped into him on the Saturday before like the after party. He was just like hovering around. I was like, oh my god, and we chatted, and all of a sudden we were like, okay, yeah, Sunday we're gonna just spend the day. We're gonna go to all the panels and just like hang out together for the whole day. And he was so warm and friendly, even like to my friends who like weren't content creators or anything. He was like just befriending us as if we'd been friends for years. And what's really funny about him is that because he's like obviously super well known in the Star Wars community, but then also I think his rise on TikTok also kind of happened with his amazing musical ability, with his singing ability. So my cousin who came with me, I was like, oh yeah, this is Mace Windu. He's on TikTok. He's like Star Wars. He's like, oh, I've never. You didn't recognize him straight away. And then at the after party, like Choco, you probably remember this. I think it was like a dead silence where everyone was kind of like just chatting amongst themselves. and then you just hear this guy singing "Isn't She Lovely" from a distance out of nowhere. I don't even know what the context was as to why he just started singing it.
I made him sing it.
Did you?
Why does that not surprise me?
I was like talking, you hear like, "Isn't she like?" All from the other side of the bar. I was like, "Wait, what?" And my cousin runs to me, and I was like, "Oh, that's the singing guy from TikTok."
That's great.
Yeah, no, we had a blast. That was actually one of my highlights as well, is being able to actually spend time, because I've had him on the podcast quite a few times. Those are some of my favorite episodes. But like just getting to sing 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton with him at karaoke was an experience. And yeah, I mean just hanging out with all you, especially at the little after party thing where we actually got to spend time. We weren't running back and forth to anything, and we just gotta grab a beer and just decompress and relax. Amazing, chef's kiss.
Yeah,
All right, well, all right, so we'll kind of go ahead and wrap it up here. And once again, thank you guys all for coming out. But I want to go around and ask, how sad are you that it's over? First of all, are you going to London next year?
Yes, I'll
And cheater. And closing thoughts and where we can find you and your amazing content. I will start with Haley.
Oh my goodness. I am so sad it's over now. It was like, words really don't describe how special it was to not only be in a room with a bunch of people who love the same thing you do, but like getting to know people that you've met online, and then realizing they are even more fantastic than you could have ever imagined. Like, absolutely fantastic. I am so sad. We are no longer there. But at the closing ceremonies, they announced London, and we all just kind of looked at each other and we're like, guess we're going to London. Like, don't know how we're going to be able to go, but we will find a way because we are not missing this.
Awesome. Love it. And Casey?
Yeah, no, it definitely sad that it's over, but super happy that it happened. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it to Celebration, and then just having the opportunity to actually go and to experience it with, so like you said, so many amazing people, getting to run into all of you guys and just getting to talk with so many people that are just as passionate about this. It's such a special moment, and there was so many special moments, like just things that definitely won't escape my memory for forever. And it really was just a surreal, absolutely amazing experience that I will cherish forever. As far as London goes, I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it to London. If that is a possibility, I would definitely love to go. But who knows? We'll see what the future has in store. But that was definitely an amazing experience.
Yes. And then once again, where can we find you and your amazing content?
Oh,
also, thank you for coming on. I've been meaning to collaborate with you for a very long time now. I'm sorry it hasn't come to fruition sooner, but I appreciate you.
This has been great. Thank you for having me. My TikTok handle is Swacer_1977 or Swacer as SWAcer. I don't
know. And Hayden?
So I am definitely super, super sad that Celebration is over. I've cried multiple times. I am not afraid to admit. But one of, I think, the time that I think I cried, like, it like really hit me that this was over, when I was on the train platform and I was walking to the back of the train where Coach was, because I'm not using business class for a 2-hour trip. But I saw the word San Diego on the destination flag, and for some reason, just freaking tears. I was so glad I had a mask on, because I was trying so hard not to let these like random people see me, like tears streaming down my face as I'm going to sit on the train for 2 hours. And then yesterday I was making a TikTok video where I kind of like spliced together a bunch of the pictures that I took this weekend. That definitely, that there were tears. I wasn't expected to cry in the intro, and then I was thinking about what I was going to caption it, and then that's when the waterworks started. But yeah, I think my favorite moments of the weekend were just meeting up with my mutuals. Again, we went to IHOP together, just like doing regular stuff, and then afterwards, after IHOP, we got to go back to Kelsey's hotel room and we talked for like 4 hours, just like about our lives and just being normal people. And I think that was definitely a highlight. And I think one of my favorite moments of the entire weekend. And as for where you can find me, I'm on TikTok at taika.ytd. And then I'm on Instagram and Twitter. I prefer Twitter just because I'm funnier on there. But that's MCUYTD. But yeah, that's where you can find my content if you're interested. I don't know. It's kind of like a mishmash, but it's mostly balanced right now, unfortunately.
Pickle balance. Had to be said. T?
Balance.
Yeah, no, I was devastated when it ended. Again, like I said, the closing ceremony, like Brooke was saying, I was a mess. I was so sad. I think it's because I don't know who they get to film these videos. I think it's like a popular YouTuber or something. They get to film those little closing ceremony videos. They're just like how they get so much emotion out of me. I think in general, I mean, I've been to like a handful of Comic Cons and different like sort of smaller conventions here and there, but I don't think I've ever seen so many people all just like happy to be somewhere, loving and celebrating like one singular thing. Like everyone just collectively just said, no, we love Star Wars. We love every single actor that is here, got the same amount of love. Every single writer and producer and like a panelist and content creator got the same amount of love. And it was just like just in general, seeing everyone just like high five each other and hug each other like strangers and stuff, you know, taking the COVID side out of it. That was really sweet. And yeah, that like, I don't know, that got to me a lot, and I felt really emotional. That being said, when they then brought out Rupert to announce that it was going to be in London the next year, so I was sat again like with Maze, we were sort of like on the lower level, and that was the moment I realized that me and my cousin were the only two people from London in that a small section. So they're like, it's gonna be my hometown of London, England, and people were like clapping and stuff, and I immediately was like, whoa, like fully. Looked around, no one else is standing up except for me and my cousin next to me. It's a little embarrassing now. It felt like it was like I was like a football game, like I just won something. But and honestly, it felt like I did because that 10.5-hour flight was not easy, and I don't know if I can convince Disney to bring me again. So, luckily,
well, I also appreciate it because I'm staying with you.
Yeah, hey, everyone's welcome. Huge slumber party of mine. I don't actually have a convention center, so that'd be great. Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna be at the London one with 100%. In fact, I'm fighting to. As soon as they said it was gonna happen, I literally took a note on my phone saying, "Convince Disney to let me host something at the next celebration. I don't care whether it's a stage or a panel or some sort of pre." I was like, "I'm getting me involved. I'm right here. You don't have to pay my expenses." Okay, like the £1 it takes me to get on the bus to get down there. I don't need nothing. So I was like, yeah, 100%, definitely gonna attend, and it was just great. Yeah, like I said, seeing all the mutuals, seeing everyone together, and it was for me very like reaffirming as a Star Wars fan and a content creator, because like I said, it's quite intimidating to make content in this fandom. Like Shock, I've spoken to you about it a bunch, but like making content in this fandom can be quite intimidating, especially as a person of color as well. You say one wrong thing and it's like, you know, you're to the gallows. Yeah. But now like seeing so many people that were so positive and were so loving, and to see that it was hundreds of thousands of people, that was like super reaffirming to me, being like, okay, no, there's to quote Lando, more of us, you know, like it was very heartwarming.
Absolutely.
Oh, I did forget to mention London is the plan. I'm trying. It's difficult with school, but yes, London is the plan. Hopefully.
Yes. Well, it's certainly my plan as well. How about you, Luke?
London, London, London. I don't think they're ready. I don't think they're ready for all of us to come in and burn that city to the ground. To be honest.
With tears of joy.
Yeah. To be honest, when they said London, I was like, I don't know why. I don't care where it's at. I'm going, and it's because of this experience that I had this week.
Because of Obi-Wan?
Well, yeah, and because of that, but no, I'd be crazy to turn it down. You'd be insane. Like if I can swing it financially, I'm gonna do it because I have really bad FOMO and I can't miss anything. I'm just gonna admit that right now. And B, going to Europe. I've never gone to Europe. I've always wanted to enjoy that. So I will be going. Uh, I've got enough time to where we can work stuff out, and I can't wait to be in Tyrell's neighborhood so that he can now give us shit for what we do to him and Bale and all the other Brits. So that's what I'm looking forward to most. And the one last thing I will say, I did happen to run into Straw Hat before the premiere, and I did say that I wanted to apologize on behalf of the community of what he had to deal with during Book of Boba Fett, and I just was like, and I talked to Tyrell too on Saturday, and I was just like, I hope this convention brings you back to your love of Star Wars, because not everybody is that asshole behind the keyboard, you know.
Yeah.
If you didn't see it at the convention, those are the people that will love Star Wars no matter what, whether they don't like a character or anything like that. Star Wars is all about being inclusive, and it's about damn time that we start making it that way. So, for the long and short of it, and then you can find me on TikTok, the Pod Ones Podcast, Instagram, the Pod Ones Pod, and on Pod Ones Podcast. Every Thursday, we're going through Clone Wars arcs. We're talking about Onderon tomorrow. We will be going into Rebels starting in August. So I know we got some Rebel stance in here. We'll figure something out. And then we're also doing, we'll be doing Kenobi. We're doing Kenobi reactions and Kenobi roundtables. So be on the lookout for that. And our final championship will be coming out here soon between Darth Chaco and Element Cinnamon, the Battle of the Dyads. So be on the lookout for that.
Absolutely. Also, I just have to say, Olivia, I feel like you missed the opportunity of saying Valence Nation on vacation.
That
You know,
would have been good.
I don't know.
Well, if Balance Nation comes to London, then that can be reaffirmed once again. So,
Man, can I just say, like, seeing everyone's content during celebration was incredible. Like, just being able to like witness things from different points of view, because there was so much at the convention, you like couldn't have seen it all. So that was really, really special, being able to see everyone's heartfelt videos and posts and stuff.
Yep, and there's still gonna be more coming. I'm still like recuperating because like also I do just kind of run out of my social battery. Like towards the end, I was like I miss my wife, I miss my dog. I have to go home. But no, like you guys said, amazing, one of a kind experience. Before this, my favorite con I'd ever been to, and I've been to a lot of cons. Before this, my favorite was the previous celebration. So hopefully we can top it with the next celebration, and just keeps and keep the good times rolling. If anyone is coming down to San Diego Comic-Con, hit me up because I will be there as well. But thank you guys so much for coming out. I love the community. I love just mixing people up from different backgrounds and areas, and then seeing how you guys continue to collaborate with each other. Like it's awesome. And even though like we've had some negative stuff and there's some toxicity in the community, the con reaffirms that that's not the norm. We have a bunch of loud idiots tearing things down, but yeah, that's going to the con, seeing how many people are there, and just thinking like literally the people here alone drown out all that negativity.
Yep.
That's powerful. It's really powerful to me. So like, and also to see the trajectory of Star Wars, because there's a lot of people that want to live in I don't know, the 1800s, but we're leaving them behind, and it's hilarious to me. There's gonna be less and less ground for them to stand on in the community, and it's funny to see them
Because we
grasping
have
at
the high
straws.
ground.
Yeah.
Yes, we have the high ground, and we always will, because Mandalorians have jetpacks. Anyhow, thank you guys once again. Thank you everyone in the chat hanging out with us. I appreciate you all. I appreciate the community and the platform this has given me. Hopefully, I can at some point get Disney to fly me to a celebration, but we'll see. Anyways, have a wonderful